Oh, there you go. I think it's sorted. Okay, so this is mostly to sort of update. I've done this since I last streamed, so I need to do some detailing. I'm not building anything, I'm just doing a little bit of detailing. I know this stream is sort of out of nowhere, but I'm trying to video everything, so streaming is sort of my way of doing that. So if you do join me here, thank you for joining. Hello, I can see someone in the chat. I don't have a proper chat feed, so I'm kind of sort of, ooh, ow, reading over there. Oh, thank you for joining. Sorry my laptop's screaming in the background. Sorry the audio is still pretty garbage, but this weekend just gone I did a foam armor making workshop for Wollongong Cosplay Society, in which I built this. This is one of her shoulder pieces. It's her right shoulder, and I've sort of finished the base construction and lined out where I need to do my detailing. So there's some little bits that need to be cut in. And I've also done the same on the pieces that I built previously on the stream. So right now I'm just gonna focus on cutting in these areas and doing that. So this isn't going to be a very long stream, and I'm sorry it was out of nowhere, but I'm just going to sort of catch up to what's been happening. This is the only bit that I haven't streamed so far. It was pretty simple to make, and it's been sanded a heap. Which I spent this morning doing, and I didn't stream because that's not exactly very exciting, but that's assembled and sort of ready to be cut. So I'm going to do that now. These are the bicep pieces. There are some parts on the front here that get cut and then pushed in at the top. Same as on the side here, cut and pushed in at the top, on the back, and on the other side, mirroring the other. So that's what I'm going to do. There's also some cut-ins on the hand plate, some arcs across here that are just sort of like V grooves, so I'm going to do that. Some bolt holes and stuff on the elbows. So, excuse me, I have the hiccups. Gonna start with these guys. Also, if my very faint music in the background is annoying, let me know. I can turn it off. It's sort of over there on a Bluetooth speaker, but I don't know how that's gonna affect you guys. So the first thing I want to do is sharpen this. Sorry for the noise. And then very gently, I don't want to cut this bottom edge here. This hasn't been sanded at all, so it's pretty messy still. I don't want to cut this bottom beveled edge. I only want to cut between here, that seam, and down, so I want to avoid scratching that. We'll see how we go. We'll see how many times I can say as well. I just want to very gently. Like that. So I've made that cut there. Once I like unattach this seam, this will get gently pushed in, so it'll sort of be glued with the edge showing like that. Which means I probably should turn my hot glue gun back on. Please go all the way through. Cool, so now I only have to do that top piece. As you can see, both cuts there. I'm being very careful with my fingers on the inside, by the way. Okay. So, basically that's just going to get glued like that. So you can see that that's just popped out. I'm just going to glue it in so that it sits down slightly and creates that cut in. So that's what's going to happen on all of the pieces on this, and on the other one to mirror. Whereas the other pieces are sort of V-shaped cuts inside. I'm not quite sure where most of my followers are from. I know the largest place that my insights tell me is Mexico, so that's pretty cool. But I think majority of my followers are international. I'm not sure. My insights don't really work because a lot of people don't put locations in their Instagram bios and that sort of stuff. Cool. You see that's in there like that. And I'm just gonna, on the inside, you can kind of sort of see, I'm just gonna run a bead of glue along that inside edge just to sort of make sure it's held in place on the inside. And when I shove my arm in and out, I'm not gonna rip it out. Just run the glue in there. Don't do this. The temperature of that glue is very low and I licked my finger, which should stop it melting my skin, but otherwise don't do it. Can you show a close-up of the shoulder? Yes, I can. So, if it's going to show, I've got seam lines sort of where you can kind of see them there. What I did was I took a Dremel with a sort of a worn-out tip to it. I don't know where it is. Just like a round ball attachment to the end of it, and I went side to side this way with the Dremel on a round worn out bit so it didn't take big chunks out of it, and then I used a very fine grit, so it's P400 rather, very fine grit sandpaper, and I sanded up and down the length of the seam enough sort of so there was no noticeable bump and all of that. Yeah, but foam sands super well. I would recommend, if you use a Dremel bit, try and use a like a more worn out piece. You don't want heaps of grip because it's just going to sort of rip big chunks out of it. And always finish off with hand sanding with a lower grit or a finer grit. Yeah, I like to sand all of my joins. This will need more sanding afterwards, but we'll get there in terms of that. So I'm gonna keep going on these edges. See, that ain't gonna move now. It's got stuff on the back. Just, if I put something here like this, I'm trying to read my chat because my chat's, yeah, needs a background somehow. Alright, same again on this side. Please cut all the way through. Always does me a frighten. Okay. So stuff like this, if you're ever like designing and building your own costume, or even if you're replicating another costume from a pre-existing design, like a game or something, a lot of stuff like just simple cut in and layering stuff is really what brings pieces to life. As you can see, this is super boring, but this has a lot of dimension to it. So if you are making or designing something, rather than going with a big round flat surface, maybe just put a random line in it and like some little cut-ins. It just, the extra dimensionality of it really makes things look more realistic and less cartoony, I guess. Less come on, cut through. Cool. Just glue that in place. So I'm doing that by popping it out, running the glue along here, and then pushing it into where I want. Like that. A little bit of a wiggle, help it here. A little bit of pressure. Cool. So now you can see I've got two little lipped, edgy cut-in things. And I'll just do the glue on the inside of this, get that leg out of the way. Don't do that, kids. I don't know why I do it. Probably because I have no feeling in my fingers from doing that too much. Alright. So, comparison of the pair. That's way more interesting. So I'll do the front, which is a smaller cutout, which will be more annoying. And again, the back, smaller cutout. Not quite as small as the front, but still annoying. I'm trying to read my chat, that doesn't help me. There we go. There we go, someone from Mexico. Hello, thank you for watching. Wouldn't the time be a bit... time zones? It's currently 1 p.m. here, so... Okay. This one officially sucks. So the smaller one is going to suck. Lots. Get my fingers out of the way. Do it this way too. Cool, let's cut all the way. And then I'll do the top. There we go. So that'll tuck in like that. Actually, I do have some other stuff I've made off stream that you haven't seen. Let me just pop that back in there. Pretty late in Mexico. It's going well. I built this. This is one of the shoulders the other day at a workshop where I was teaching people some basics of foam. So I didn't stream that, but I'm currently detailing. I am streaming that so that you don't miss out. Mexico has been confirmed. Alright, so there's the back, 2 sides. You can tell that that just makes a heap of difference in comparison to this. We'll do the front. I think I'm going to start with the top line, because that seems like the less scary. Before I do the other one of these, I'll show you what else I've done in between the previous streams. Let's see if I can... It hasn't cut all the way, but sometimes you can kind of just... There we go. Wiggle it free. This time I think I might apply the glue. No, that's not going to work. Let's try and stick it in here. And then push it forward. That was super messy. Kind of regret doing that. Just gonna clean that and then try and fix this. There we go, that's better. A bit shiny now, but that's better. So that's what the bicep looks like with its details cut in. So obviously I need to go around and sand all my seams on this. I haven't done that yet. And a couple of little bits of filler in some of the smaller holes and that sort of stuff. So there's one that needs finishing. Give me 2 seconds. Ugh. It's knocked so many things over. So this is the other thing that I have done. How do I get this in screen? There we go. This is the other thing that I've done. This is Lara Croft's pickaxe, ice axe thing. It's a 3D print. It's not coming across great, is it? No, not really. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. That's a bit better. So this is her ice axe. It's a 3D print, so there's a couple of joins in it. This is one segment here. There's one about there, again there, just because of the height that I can print, and the blade was actually split down the middle. But yeah, so confirm I'm doing Tomb Raider costume soonish, and I've kind of sort of, let's go back to this one. Is it gonna, yeah, there we go. So I've wrapped the handle as well, and up here. It's not finished yet, I've got to do a couple more bits of weathering, but that's where we're at. Lara Croft is also happening. Now I need to put it somewhere because I can't get it back in the box that I took it out of. Gentle. Cool. Okay, so let's quickly do the other one of these, and then we can move on to some more fun stuff. And by fun stuff, I mean it's not going to be fun at all. I'm dreading it. That's why I'm starting with the easy bits. That is sort of the same height, a bit higher. Cool, that one cut a little bit easier. Again, just glue that in like that. The terrible lighting actually is helping me demonstrate pushing this in. I'm going to do it this way again. That was so much neater. Should have done that the first time. Beautiful. Alright, same again on the sides. Checking my drawing skills. Look pretty good. Probably after I detail this, stop for lunch because it's about lunchtime here. And then I was looking at seeing if I can start this guy today, which is the other shoulder. We'll see how we go. And this roll of white behind me, that's that translucent foam, so you can shine lights through it. That's for a couple of places on Brigitte. Yeah. She has orange lights, so I've got some clear foam to shine orange lights through. Yeah, that was my story. Thank you very much. It was a bit of a rush job because I kind of got a little bit of a late invite. It wasn't super late, to go and do the workshop and to host or judge a cosplay comp. And I was like, ooh. So I'll need to sit down, so I can't exactly attend in giant armor. So I rushed to finish Chloe on time to wear. It was really comfy and it was really good. I had good feedback, so very good. I can't wait to do a sort of finish her off and then do a proper photo shoot and not just a phone photos in front of a lighthouse. There you go, beautiful. Fix up the inside again. I'm not going to touch that with my bare fingers now because a glue gun is very hot. Cool, let me get that guy in. Also, I'm still working on getting a microphone, so that will be addressed soonish. Very sorry about that. How do we get in? Ooh, no, can't read that. Where did I get the bullet necklace? I walked into my local shopping center and there was one of those pop-up store things that sold keychains, and they had like bullets, like they were supposed to be a keychain, and they were about the right size, and they had 3 of them, and I was like, I'll buy them. So I spent 15 bucks on 3 keychains that I then turned into a necklace. It was just a super duper lucky find. Let's just get that to stay where I want it to. Have a little bit of foam in the back of it. Try that. There we go. Beautiful. So, just 2 of them with all their cut-ins on it, and that's them detailed, ready for cleanup. It's a really awkward way to hold it. Cool. So, probably going to try hand plates next, because they should be relatively easy. You can see my marked out lines. I'm not worrying about the circles in there, because I've got to get something big enough to cut out an appropriate circle, and then cut out a same size of this and insert the translucent foam in there. So I'm not gonna do that just yet, but I can do these lines, which should just be an angled in cut like this and like that. So I'm just going to do the other side. That's scary. Don't like doing that. Hang on. Just gonna.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot you don't really
Heat the edges so that way it's going to show up more. And I'll just recut this because apparently that didn't cut. Come out of there. There we go. There's one line cut in. And it's really dark at the moment because I just burnt the foam with the glue gun. But obviously it won't remain coloured. There you go, just holding that. A Mandalorian set of armour is actually on my list. We'll see if I ever get to it, but it is on the list. Yeah. pull that out again. Heat it up so you can see it. Okay. Did kind of mess it up a little there. It is a little wider in that one point, but that's okay. That's what battle damage is for. And I might just, for the sake of consistency, do it on this edge too. I don't think that's canon, but I think it'll look better if that is done. There we go. So that's a hand plate. Beautiful. Do the other one. So the other one's a little bit different because it doesn't go the whole way across. Obviously this is over the top. So this one should be easier, question mark. Oh, nearly wrecked it. Yeah, it's not easier. How do I get you out of there? Not like that. Let's see if I can heat that bit out. Cool, 2 bits. Do the other side. After I sharpen. Oh, things go so much better when you have a sharp blade. Cool. So we get hand plates done. Move them out of the way. So this guy, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. It's because he actually, it's not a he, it's an item. Has circles cut out and then indented in, so I'm going to need to cut out a circle, which is a little bit annoying. What have I got? It's probably a little small. This guy. So this is just a tubey thing that's kind of sharp on the ends. And I'm just going to push in and twist. We'll see how this goes. So, I guess I could, matter of fact, could leave it like that, which means it has just a dented in edge. But I believe, I'll just check my reference pictures, I believe the whole thing is cut out and dented in, which is a little bit annoying. But we might compromise. Wait, do you have an image? Yeah, it looks like a really quality image. It looks like it is completely dented in. But I don't think I'm going to be able to cut this out. Very carefully. that will. Oh, we gotta cut quite a way through, but it's not enough. Let's see if I can. Come on. There we go. Alright, so I haven't cut all the way through, but I pulled a chunk out. So what I'm going to do with this piece that I pulled out is I'm going to trim a bunch off the bottom and then glue it back in. That's a bit scary. There we go. Alright, so now should be able to just, there we go, that's what we wanted. Get it back out, shove a heap of glue in there, push that back in. That worked out way better than expected. There we go. So, now I only have to do that 3 more times. If this was sharper, it'd probably punch the whole way through, but it's not very sharp. So, now that I've done that, I'll very gently come on. Oh, don't roll that off the table. Have I gone the whole way around yet? Yes. Okay. So again, same thing. Just pull it out gently. Careful not to wreck it, because we want to put it back in. Cool. And we'll trim. That off like that. Some glue in there. Get that back in there. Beautiful. That's 2. So that's both sides of that successfully indented. And what I'll do with some filler to sort of fix up the seams around the edges is just some of that DAP bathroom filler in there, smooth it in the edges. Problem solved. This one hasn't had any gap filling done to it, but the other one sort of started to have some done, so this one's still behind the cleaning. So this is the bottom of the elbow. I know this because it's sort of only just shorter than this piece. So that's the bottom. The top has 3 indents on it up there. They're sort of probably about pen sized, I think. You can't get that off. Try this one. You can get that one off. How about that? That looks pretty good. Go. This is just, now you all know how garbage I make things. These ones I'm just going to leave like that. We'll get there one day. See what that does to it. Pushes it in. And then it's got one in the middle. Like so. There we go. 3 dents indented there. That is the elbow piece. Let's do the other one. So it's the little bits and pieces like this that kind of really finish a costume, and you could paint them on, but I wouldn't have the same effect as actually having 3D elements. I could also achieve this by, if I were to cut a piece of craft foam and lay it over the top with the hole cut out of it, but I don't want my piece to be any bigger than it currently is, and adding craft foam would make it bigger. So we're doing it the hard way. See if we can't get this piece out again. Cut the back off it. I'm actually just sort of cutting it in half and hoping it's the right. Yeah, perfect. So we get some glue in. Get this guy in. Like so. A little bit of squeeze on the back to make sure that the glue is actually contacting it. There we go, one done. Other side, last one. Oh, really is an arm ache to do that. Again, I'm not cutting this all the way through. I'm probably missing the end with the point of the blade by about 2 or 3 millimeters. So that gives me something to glue it to at the bottom when I do pull it out. Cut around it, just peel it out. I'll show you that up close while I'm doing it. Where's my camera? There you go. So it kind of leaves a little bit in the bottom for glue. And I just trim this sort of semi in half. Somewhere around the half. Like that. Whack a bit of glue in there. And push that in like so. It's art. It's beautiful. It's done. This is my gap filling. I used the EVA foam clay to push in the gaps and then sanded it. There'll be more sanding afterwards that'll kind of sort of take the edges away a bit more. But I found that it works really good if you get it down in the crack and then sand along. It just seems to fill the gap really nicely. Use the pen. There's one. There's two. The third one. Three. So we've detailed. Put that pen there to be reassembled later. So far we've done the biceps. Have 4 cut-ins on them to add extra depth to them. I think they really sort of sell the look. They need cleaning up. We've done these, the elbow pieces, 2 cut-ins on the edges, and then 3 sort of rivety looking things on the top. So that would go on that way. So that, ooh, where am I? Yeah, like that. We've done both of them, and we've also put in, not that you can see that because I didn't heat inside, the lines on the hand plates. That went well. Sort of just break up the monotonous back. So that sort of done. Get the elbows out the way. Pen back together real quick. That's wrong end. So the shoulder piece, this is the sort of V-cut line along here. I'm a bit terrified to do it. And this is like the circles, it's pushed in and then cut out, but I think I will just trim that with the knife and hope for the best. These, I believe, recheck my references, are just sort of little pen indentations. This one's more on an angle, so I don't know how I'm going to go about that. Give me my reference, please. Yeah, okay, so where are we? Sort of here. Alright, so you can see the cut in there, that's just lowered down there and there. There's that one in there. I've also got hot glue on my nail, that's nice. And then the cut in V along the shoulder. And you can also see the bicep cut-ins that I did. You might be able to hear the cat being angry in the background. I am making Best Girl and my million reference photos. Yeah, Best Girl. So, I'm really terrified to do this. Sharpen the knife first. How about that? Real nice and slow. Beautiful. Same on this one. I don't know if you can really see what I'm doing, but there you go. So there is it so far. Didn't scare the crap out of me at all. I don't know what you're talking about. I might do this side as well real quick. There you go. I might just quickly... There you go. That shows up better. No, I'm not going to Tampa Bay Comic-Con. I wish I could, but it's a very long way away from me. Let's go this way again. Where do we want to get to there? Let's redo my line because that's crooked. Didn't do what I wanted it to. Stresses me out. Second one done. So just got to meet it up along the bottom. Like that. Pull it out. How long have I been cosplaying? About 5 years, somewhere in the 5-year ballpark. A while, that's for sure. Okay, cool. There, so there's that cut in. That actually came out way cleaner than I thought it would, and that is my right shoulder. Probably shouldn't have reassembled my pen because I want to do this guy. Like that. And same on that side. Just there. I'm just gonna, on the back of this, put a little bend space in there so that that can carry the appropriate angle. Like that. Just help round that out a little. Cool. And this side, I cut it at the wrong spot because it wasn't glued together when I did it, so I'll just fix that. Alright. So, last bit is these circular bits. I really just want to cut them in, but I really don't want to do it, is what's happening. My fingerprints don't exist, apparently. Okay, let's grab a reference. Ooh, crunchy. So there you can see the back of the bicep, the back of the elbow, and the piece that I'm trying to do is just that. Yes, I think it's actually, let's see if we can use this pen like this. The bottom of it is here, but it is a slight bit wider and comes up a slight bit higher, I think. Does that look better or worse? I think that looks worse. Come on, work with my fingerprint. Yeah, that looks worse. Okay, maybe we'll go a bit smaller. Maybe we'll just do the original. We'll just do the original. Again, not cutting all the way through, so it's fine that my fingers are behind that. Let's see if we can see that I've cut it, but it doesn't want to come out because I didn't cut all the way through. So now I can kind of attempt. There's a hot glue seam there, which is a bit rough to cut through. My fingers are back here, just in case you're concerned. Okay. Push it through now? Yeah, we can. Why did I decide to start doing cosplay? I've always liked making things. Like, I always liked making things. And I saw... I stumbled across the 405th. Like, I was looking at... Because I really, really liked Halo. And I found the 405th Halo Costuming Regiment one day. And I was like, well, if they can do it, why can't I? And so here I am, very much invested in cosplay. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to trace this on the other side. Not that I did too bad of a job actually outlining that. Both about the same. It's not bad. Glue this in. I'll push this one in from the back. Like that. There we go. There's one indented piece. Look better once it doesn't have big wrong pen lines around it. So we'll do the other side, and then I'm going to go and eat some food because I am very hungry. Cosplay is really easy to get into. I still use basic materials, like a 4-pack of big sheets of foam for me is $10, and I just use a knife and hot glue. Hot glue is cheap. So it's definitely not hard to get into money-wise. And there's so many resources online to get you started and pointed in the right direction. Come on. It's very, I found it very easy to transition from more of like 2D drawing and like maybe making clay sculptures and stuff to working with foam. It's pretty similar. And a lot of the stuff that you may know from doing some of that sort of applies to foam making as well. Obviously, I think the more artistic you are, or the more previous experience you have that could translate across, the better you're going to do your first time, or the more time you spend researching. But then from there, it's just practice. My first suit wasn't great. But yeah, it's pretty easy to get into. I've just broke this by accident, but that's okay. Because we've got hot glue. We need that piece. So the seam broke apart there when I was pushing on it. I'm just going to glue that together. Just a little bit back in there. Ooh, that doesn't help me. Use the back of my phone case. Is that going to help me? I did used to stream games a while back, but the issue with that is that all of my gaming setup is down the other end of the house, quite a way away from the router, so it gets a bit laggy and the frame rate isn't great. Obviously the frame rate on this stream as well also isn't great. I'm only able to stream 28 frames at the moment, and obviously the quality isn't the world's greatest, but that's just due to Australian internet and also my setup. So I worry that streaming and gaming at the same time would be very laggy for me and the viewers, but it's something I want to look into. see how we go. Just gonna glue these in on the back. Alright, anyone got any questions before I go? Because I'm so hungry. Here's my indents. I don't think I'm going to worry about them just yet. So I kind of want to push them in on that kind of angle, but for that I probably want a Dremel bit. And I don't want to set up the Dremel and make loud noises in your guys' ears. There we go. That's where the Dremel slipped, but you won't see them after I address that. So this is what I've done so far. One shoulder. That's not glued very well at all. Let's just pop some glue in there. Something to fit in. That's not better. Okay, so there's one shoulder and bicep. How do I, streaming is hard. And it goes like that. 2 hand plates, 2 elbow pieces. So next on the list of things to do is this gauntlet minus the elbow piece, obviously, because that's made. Got to do 2 of them. And one of these guys, the shoulder piece, the other shoulder piece. So I'll probably stop for 45 minutes, an hour, and come back and get started. These are all my printed out templates behind me. So it'll probably just be boring cutting and tracing, but I'll probably be back in 45 minutes. Thank you very much for joining me on this stream. It's really cool that people are interested in seeing how this all works. And how things come together. I broke this pen, but that's okay. This is my next big project, which is very big, and I have like not very long to do. So, turn my hot glue gun off like that. Yeah, thank you for watching. I'm gonna go. I'll be back in an hour, 45 minutes. So if you are still around, I'll see you then. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm so hungry. Thank you. Bye. It takes a while to stop streaming, doesn't it?